You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. It's education and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. It's February the 2nd, 2022, and we are live and coming to you from the Pace Radio Network's Facebook pages as well as on YouTube. I'm Al Graham, and as you can see, my joint host, there we go, is Kim Cooper. She is here as well. Hello, Kim. How you doing?
How's it going?
All right.
I'm doing good. I'm energized tonight, having a great day, and I'm looking forward to tonight's show.
Good stuff. All right. Are you getting any of that snow out there?
No, not yet. It's missed us so far, and I'm good with that.
You're lucky. It's we're gonna get it for like the next 24 hours. It's gonna,
Yeah, that's
and
what I
it's
heard.
wet and heavy. Oh, just gonna hate it. But tonight, Kim,
well, I hope it just misses us. It's just go around.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope so. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Before we bring in our guest tonight, who's dealing with the courts and is working on a new project, we got ourselves a news article to discuss.
Yeah, we do.
All
We
right.
do. And it's coming to us from StatsCan, I believe.
Yes, it is. There you go. As you can see it. It is to do from StatCan. It says Toba grown to launch Canada's first not-for-profit pre-rolls in Manitoba.
Not for profit. Now, that's new.
That's right. It's an organization that is fighting for Manitobans' right to grow their own cannabis, and is now launching their own line of cannabis pre-rolls with proceeds going to their legal bills and several charities. So, as you know, Manitobans, you can't legally smoke or grow cannabis there.
That's right. One of the two provinces that we have in this country that sort of opted out of allowing federal legalized growing for its residents. Of course, everybody else across the country is allowed to grow 4 plants per household, not in Manitoba and not in Quebec. Now, there are legal challenges that are being put forth to fight this, especially for those that are patients and have foregone their prescriptions and that kind of thing now because of legalization. They feel they still should have the right to grow their own medicine, whether they're prescribed or not. And I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. This is one way to raise some funds, and everybody across Canada should be able to grow cannabis. It shouldn't be something that's taken away by the province. Like, this is, it's a federal controlled thing, and it just doesn't it's just not right.
That's right.
So it's
they
say here
it's not. So I applaud these guys for doing this. This is great.
Jesse Lovie is founder of the Toba Grown movement. He says, "I'm proud to announce that Toba Grown will be launching a product line for not-for-profit cannabis into the Manitoba market. All of Toba Grown's profits will be used to fund our legal bills for our cases, with all remaining profits being donated to multiple charities."
Sweet. Lavoie says that the BC-based producer gave Toba Grown. Oh, you lost me. You're too high up.
There you go.
There we go. It gave.
Now
I'm lost. They've got Toba Grow plans to launch 2 nonprofit products in 2022. The first product of Toba Grow rolls will be a pack of 3.5 gram pre-roll joints and will consist of flower sourced from small batch licensed producers based in BC. Toba Grown's aim is to have Toba Grown available for purchase this February or early March. So they're moving fast on
They
this.
sure are, and you can see where Toba, Met's Manitoba, growing. So they say the second
Yeah.
product, the Toba Squad, is a line of pre-rolled joints that will be released later this year and will consist of flowers sourced from multiple Manitoba licensed producers, including they
Yeah.
list a few of them there.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, there's a nice little list of some small craft growers that are there. And I mean, come on, this is the products that legacy consumers are after. We're after craft. The larger company stuff, the big corporate stuff, it's just not cutting it for anybody that's a legacy consumer in this space. We want quality, and that comes from craft.
Yeah. There's a whole list of places there. I don't know if they're all legal, but I can see some legal names, a legal name listed on that location. But
Yeah.
yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
there's several of them there. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
several of them there, but exciting stuff for this company, Toba Grown. Like to see grassroots pushing it forward, right?
Yes, exactly. It's good to see it, and it's all for a good cause. Obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
fighting an
Advancement of
unjust,
legalization.
fighting an unjust law, really. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're
yeah,
still fighting unjust laws in the age of legalization. So using the legalized platform to advance that push forward, it's fitting.
yeah, sure is. That's right. And it allows everybody to get involved in a small way by purchasing the product in order to help it so people can grow for their cause.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
All righty. Oh, there we go. That's gone. So what do you say? Time to bring in our guest?
Yeah, cool stuff going on with tonight's guests on a couple of different fronts that we're going to cover.
That's right. Exactly. I know I've seen some posts come up on a group notifications in my Facebook
Yeah,
thread there, and I'm going, hey, what's going on here? And the only way to find
yeah,
out is to ask questions, right?
that's right.
That's right.
Yeah,
So we're going
that's
to do
right.
that. That's right. So at this time, I'd like to welcome a person I mentioned who is fighting in the courts while working on a new project. We'd like to welcome Pat Warnecke back to the Pace Radio Show. Welcome, Pat. How you doing today?
Great, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Doing great.
Good, good. Well, welcome. We appreciate you coming on and spending some time here with us tonight on the Pace Radio Show. Talking about the whole situation and what this court challenge is about, and what new projects you're working on as well. Because, geez, I think it's probably been, I don't know, it's been probably a couple of years maybe since I've talked to you.
Probably almost 4 years now.
4 years.
Yeah,
Holy
the court
shit!
case has been going on 3.5
Wow.
years at this point.
Wow.
It's 4 years ago next month that the
Holy,
raids happened.
Wow, yeah, because it was
holy shit. I didn't think it was, I knew it was a while, but I didn't think it was that long. Holy shit,
Ooh,
time's just spinning by, isn't it?
sure.
Yeah. Well, it depends how you look at it, I guess.
Yeah, maybe
I've had
not for you.
I've had a gag order in some regards. I can't talk about some things, and in our court case for my personal criminal charges and stuff
Sure.
from our dispensaries. But yeah, it's with having conditions, 4 years seems like quite long enough. Let me tell you.
The condition
Yeah,
parts of things you're having to live
yeah,
with that, whereas we wouldn't notice them unless we were around you type thing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's that stuff to live with, but it is what it is. It's part of the process, I guess.
yeah, exactly.
It,
And
it.
let's hope that in the end everything works out well.
Yeah.
So to get things going here, I'm going to throw things over to Kim, and she'll get the questions rolling, and I'll just follow in as we go along.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Al. Pat, I didn't have any idea. I can't wrap my head around the fact that it's been 4 years. That's
Yeah.
phenomenally mind-blowing to me. It really is. So obviously a lot has transpired in the last 4 years. But for anybody out there that maybe wasn't part of our interview 4 years ago, or not knowing what your torment and turmoil has been over the years and what you're fighting for, let's begin tonight by giving people a bit of a backstory on you. How did you start off in the cannabis community? What drew you to the cannabis community? Why are you here? And then we'll go into what you're going through after that. So let's give everybody an overview of who's Pat is and what are you doing in the cannabis
Sure.
community?
Absolutely. Thank you. I guess I got started back in the cannabis community almost 20 years ago now. Originally, when I got my prescription for myself, and I was one of the first people in my area in Saskatchewan to have growing licenses and to be helping people out with the paperwork and learning the processes and helping people grow. Throughout the years, we just kind of put our heads down and did our thing. And in about 2013, we put applications in, the original LP applications in, and we were one of the top 40 companies to have our applications in at that time. We saw how the industry went from that point forward, and how certain companies were jumping ahead of others and whatnot. And we kind of saw the writing on the wall, the way the direction was going. So we had to help people, and we had more and more patients coming to us all the time. And we just decided to go ahead and start helping people. From there, we opened up Best Bud Society in 2015 in Regina to start with, and then Saskatoon and Edmonton following those, following the original one in Regina. We helped over 12,000 patients, and
Wow.
we had patients from pretty much little kids, toddlers, all the way through to obviously to end of life people. So we had amazing staff, amazing atmosphere, amazing colleagues to work with during that time. Amazing culture and atmosphere that we had going on in Saskatchewan. We were one of the first ones in Saskatchewan and definitely in Regina. And from there, several other stores opened up. But we really stuck to harm reduction and addictions, helping people out with that. And when everything was happening through the changes of the Aller decisions and the Smith decisions and so on, we wanted to offer people high quality cannabis products for a good price, for an affordable price. We also gave away cannabis to veterans. We gave away cannabis to people having addictions problems. We also had nonprofit prices for several other people in other categories that couldn't afford it. So we really were a healing hub for people to come to. And in 2018, when the lottery system was happening in Saskatchewan and all that was going on, all of us dispensary operators and people that were helping patients, not one of us across Saskatchewan had anything to do with any of the shops got a single license in Saskatchewan. And obviously everybody knows probably the story of what happened there with the lottery system and how these big LPs got several lottery picks and all that kind of stuff happened. And it was so famous that actually the U of R stats professor came out the following Monday after the lottery stats were released on the Friday. The stats professor released a story on Monday in the paper to show exactly what the possibilities in the numbers given by the government of those companies getting those. And it was 1 in millions. And then it was 1 in millions for multiple 1 in million chances in one lottery system. And not one of us got in there, but we know that happened. That's part of a civil suit that we have to deal with after, so we can't talk too much about that. But long story short, we didn't get any notice from the city of Regina. Obviously, we're in North Central Regina, which is notoriously one of the worst neighborhoods in Canada. We helped a lot of people that were marginalized, a lot of people that had a lot of problems with access, big problems with access, especially in Saskatchewan. So we provided that access. We had a lot of regulars coming in and people that didn't have accessibility anywhere. From there, we didn't have any warnings or anything else, and 6 months before legalization, they decided to clean the slate in Saskatchewan before they gave their buddies the licenses. and they came after and they knocked all of our doors down. They knocked all the shops off in Regina at the same time. No warning, no consultation, no anything. Although in the public,
no letter, no. Places get a letter, like in some places across the country.
No, they in fact said they actually told the they actually told the news media they actually told the news media they came and visited us and talked to all the dispensary owners themselves directly too, and that simply didn't happen. So that all happened, and immediately, and because we had a lot of close relationships with doctors, with methadone clinics, even of some really good doctors in Regina that were really trying to get people help that they needed. And they were going out on a limb and risking a lot by doing what they were doing, because they were getting threats from the College of Physicians and stuff like that. So, long story short, they told us, and we had a lot of contact. As soon as Best Buds shut down, we had immediate phone calls. I had my phone was ringing off the hook from doctors, from the clinics, because people were in distress, immediate distress. We had to scramble. We had a lot of stuff going on immediately when that happened. But there was immediately overdoses that very first night. Yeah, and we know from looking up stats, from available stats, public stats, and the overdoses kept on going from there. So we opened up the next day, and we again tried to give people an outlet to get their stuff at. Immediately, we had police outside. We had police outside the shop, and we had people like walking right by them, like, I don't give a shit. We're gonna get the medicine we need. And while I was talking with the police and dealing with them, and they came and they knocked off the shop again. They came in and raided and took everything, as like literal addicts that had their carts with cans in them were parking out front and coming in to get stuff. So that's literally how it went down in Regina. From there,
like like I've some of the documentaries I've watched over the years, and you see some of these raids in California and stuff. And they shut down dispensaries. The questions always would be, what about the patients? What happened to the patients? And here you're describing what happened. Yeah. You've got doctors that are calling you because their patients are in distress.
We had doctors calling us. We had patients
overdose,
straight out threatening me and getting mad at me because they're in such distress. They thought it was my fault, and it was like, and I had something to do with it. So like we had some really good volunteers and some really good team members, and they did whatever it took to get these people the help they needed. But we had people seizing up, having seizures that night. We had people having muscle spasms that night. We had overdoses. We had some very significant events the very first nights while we were scrambling ourselves. After that point in time, we were able to get our wherewithal together to get a better system for everybody. But we couldn't be in the same place. We couldn't do the same things, and I couldn't be a part of anything to do with it. Because of obvious reasons, I didn't want to get anybody in trouble or anything further to happen. So we simply did whatever we had to do. From there,
and fear, people that lashed out at you, we see in today's world what fear can do to you. Right. Yeah. When people are fearful, when fear sets in and the panic sets in, and this is, I think, probably especially true for anybody that's struggling with addiction. You're taking away the only avenue that's keeping me clean. Fear sets in. It's gone. So you lash out. It's like, why did you do that? It must have been you that did that. It's your place, so you're responsible. So it's almost understandable that these people did that. You've got to have felt bad for them that they were in that much fear. They didn't know where to put their anger, and it wound up on you.
Yeah, well, thankfully, I kind of understood that a little bit, and I understand that about addictions. But at the same time, I was still in my own zone, my own trauma zone at the same time going on too.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we did understand that, and we were able to help them out, and they were able to. They understood after, and everything was good. Once they got their medication and stuff. But people are desperate, and I totally understand that, and I get that. And my biggest thing is I had to explain that to my team members, and I had some people coming forward, volunteers coming forward that were longtime patients of ours that had kids at home and stuff that were still volunteering to get people the medicine they needed and stuff like that. And they weren't used to dealing with stuff like that. So I felt worse for them and my team members having to deal with some of those things at that point in time than myself. I'm a big boy. I could take it. And I know I know what they were going through, so I understood it. But these other people that didn't understand, they kind of got thrown into the fire, so to speak. They kind of got a little bit more. But,
Yeah.
we got through it, and that's the main thing. Unfortunately, there's still not a program in place in Saskatchewan really to help that, and anyone that's tried it, they really went after. But what happened directly after the raids happened, to show you a level of something else that is unbelievable. I was actually at the 420 event in Vancouver, and we were waiting for things to go on and whatnot. We already had my lawyer was in contact with the Crown prosecutor in Saskatchewan. Everything was worked out. We were going to turn ourselves in the following Wednesday. We already had everything. Everything was done with the Crown prosecutor and my lawyer. So on 420, I was in Vancouver, and my phone just started ringing off the hook. And the Regina Police Service, the chief of police, put myself and my wife's picture on the front page of the newspaper and called us Saskatchewan's most wanted, and said that we were outstanding for warrants.
What?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So then my phone was blowing up, and I was like, "Holy shit, Mark! What went on?" And Mark's like, "Well, this isn't right." So then I started getting calls from media, and good thing I had some contacts that were doing constant media stuff at the time with. And I was like, no. I said we were already in contact with the Crown prosecutor. I said they're obviously trying to make us look really bad at this point, trying to bulldoze us because we stood up and fought. There's 24 other dispensary owners in Regina, and I was the only one standing up, and I was the only one they were doing this to. So what happened was we came back and we actually did a media release right on the front steps of the police station, and the media went right over to the Crown prosecutor's office. The Crown prosecutor verified what I said. And then they went back to the Regina Police Service, and then they had to do a media scrum and answer a bunch of questions to the media because of the shit they pulled. So, and then when we checked ourselves in and turned ourselves in, they did everything from threatening. It was crazy. It was crazy. They're threatening to keep me till the court date. If it was 2 or 3 years away, they didn't care. They're going to go after this and that, and kids. They're threatening Megan for everything under the sun. And the reality was, I can't get too far into it, but there was that much on her at all. It was just a bulldoze effect, and all of her stuff's been thrown out or anything else. But I can't go into it because it'll be part of the civil suit after because there was literally nothing. And all they did is they put a mother of a 2 and 3-year-old in the front page of the newspaper while there was a triple homicide that weekend in Regina. Sad. Yeah, but that's the kind of tactics that
it's scare tactics, right? And I mean that's what it is. It's scare tactics.
It is. It is. And we just had to stand in there and do what we had to do. It's been a long time coming. Obviously, we've been helping patients do whatever they have to do to get access as far as getting to the proper doctors, the proper sources, the people they have to talk to, whatnot. Our court case, it's taken a long time, but it's based on patients' access. We're going off of, we had a lot of patients come forward and help us out with testimonies. We had to have very specific testimonies and criteria, but we did everything that we could by the book and at Best Buds from our systems and record keeping, verifications. We did everything that we possibly could, including everybody that came to us actually had a doctor's prescription. That's all we service. So it wasn't like Vancouver and Saskatchewan. It couldn't run like that. So we had a pretty tight ship. And we paid our taxes, which really threw a wrench in their system too. So at the end of the day, we have a very good. We had a bunch of good people come forward. We had mothers. We had a mother of an autistic child that was taking. I won't say what company, but an LP oil that was, as we all know, was very diluted with only, I believe, it was 30 milligrams per milliliter of THC. So things like that. We had those parents. This child was an autistic child with Dravet syndrome. I'm allowed to talk with the child. The parents are very good about this. And he had dramatic improvement from like 300 plus seizures a month down to not even measured months of not even measured seizures. The remarkable attitudes. He got a little bit violent at some times, and he was a strong 16-year-old. And so it actually calmed him down, let him sleep a little bit, got him an appetite back. But what happened was they couldn't give him the LP oil. Being so diluted, is trying to get that down his mouth with a bunch of carrier oil. He'd spit it out. It'd be all over the place. It was just a nonstop fight, right? So obviously using the high potency fecal oil and the proper stuff he needed and so on, they're able to sneak it into his food and get him the medication he needed to help him.
Nice.
We had low barrier access, lots of cases of homeless people to people with no credit cards to people with no fixed addresses. We even have experts as far as we had some doctors that were experts on homelessness that came in and even verified lack of access, lack of ability to get access. We had industry experts. We had a little bit of everybody. Really, we had everybody that we possibly could. We had
Everybody.
four doctors, and a couple experts. So we did everything we could. I think it went well. I think that they really tried pinning us on questions of vilifying us, right?
No.
You're a big drug dealer. Here's what you're doing, and I was like, no, I paid my taxes. I did this.
Oh,
And this,
yeah,
and this.
yeah.
Instead, I paid my taxes. It was like, wow.
Yeah, and the thing too is that, as you
Yeah.
mentioned, you were everybody who was dealing with you had a script.
Yeah.
You were strictly
That's right.
medical.
That's right.
Yeah, we were
Everybody's a
very
patient.
strict on that.
Everybody's a patient.
Yeah.
Absolutely, everybody, and we were very strict on that. And like I said, Saskatchewan's a different place than BC, so I knew that they were watching. They were over our. I mean, we knew from the court case that they sent several investigators in, and even from the disclosure, there's not one incidence of them saying that we sold to them, other than CBD. But I mean, that was CBD. That we didn't have. That was the only. We even had a sign on our thing that said we don't ask for a prescription of CBD, but everything else we will, type thing. So I mean, but long story short, yeah, that's the only possibility of anything without a prescription that we had availability to. But regardless, it is what it is.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like you guys, you were better equipped than what we see in most clinics today. For the amount of people and levels of help that were available, that's more service than you get in a clinic. That's even a cannabinoid clinic that's out there.
Absolutely.
Today. You
So
guys
all of our bud
had
tenders,
more.
had to have a certification. It was a nurse's level certification from a company in the States. We also had, I don't know if you guys must know Stu Martin. Stu Martin was our local resident expert that was helping people out and teaching doctors across Saskatchewan at the same time. I mean, we really did. We went above and beyond to make sure that we had the best possible service. We had testing equipment on site. There's another question they tried to nail us on. We had testing equipment on site. We did everything that we possibly could. We had secured records. You got to figure, I come from a background of security and law enforcement. I owned a security company, an armored car company before. So we were used to making sure that things were protected and things were taken care of. And we did. We had full on huge ass vaults to put the products in, and it was checked in every day. We had POS systems to list and take care of everybody's prescription, exactly who was taking what, how much they were taking, patients, you name it. So we did everything by the book, but as good as they could. And that's what's kind of causing them a little bit of wrench in their case, I think, at the end of the day. As far as my criminal case,
and that had to have benefited you. That had to have benefited you coming from that kind of a background. I mean, not just in the security aspect of it, but operating a security company, that's nothing but 100% checks and balances, paper trails, everything documented, verifiable. I mean, all of those things come in play with security. And I mean, that's like the ultimate pathway or formula for operating this kind of an operation.
Absolutely, I believe so, and in fact, even when it all comes down to it, in the court case, the fact of the matter is they try to they're going to try to discredit us. They already have. They did in the charter case too. The reality is, my family-owned armored car company that we operated and I founded in Saskatchewan, we carried all the money for SGI, SaskTel, SaskPower, Sask Energy, all the casinos, all the ATMs, the credit unions, you name it. We did that in Saskatchewan. So to try to discredit us and say, well, we're these bad guys at this and that, we did everything as we could by the book. We took everything, documented everything. We're doing everything properly. And we even paid our taxes, like I said. And that's the whole thing, I think, is we have a pretty tight case, and that's obviously it was before the criminal side. As far as the charter challenge side that we just went through, I think we have a tight case. I think the lawyers did a good job. Mark Berg from Saskatoon. If anybody's ever looking, Mark Berg is an amazing lawyer. Young guy. He's not corrupted by any big firms or anything like that yet. But he's really went above and beyond. We had good witnesses. The Crown's case at the end of the day, all they did is try to throw my testimony out and a bunch of our witnesses and a bunch of our testimony. That's all it is. They just tried to get our testimonies thrown out. They didn't. They didn't have any experts to combat our experts. They didn't have to anything. They didn't anything. All they did is try to say that what we were doing was some criminal activity and this and that. And then, like I said, I think I took the wind out of the sail when I paid my taxes and did all that. And then several other questions and leading questions that they're asking about. It was all generated towards that. And I hope that the judge saw through that. I think with the experts and stuff, the judge, even at the final arguments, I think that that's all the judge really, or the Crown really did, is try to basically threaten the judge almost.
Let's get into those final arguments and what the future looks like, how things might turn out after we do this break. Sound good?
Oh, it's already bottom of the hour, is it? See, I lost track of time.
It is. It's already the bottom of the hour. It's break time. Yeah, I know. Hey. Okay. All right. Off we go to pay some bills, and you got to hear from our sponsors. When we return, we'll continue our talk with Pat Warnecke. This is the Pace Radio Show. We are live here on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook pages, as well as on YouTube. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network, found at paceradio.net, provides its listeners with news, information, and a place to be heard. This is done through our 5 weekly live video and audio broadcasts that cover cannabis and psychedelic news, plus those we interview. We get started Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Reefer Reporters. Then at 9 p.m. we're live with Canada Quebec. Tuesday brings you Open Your Eye or the Psychedelic Reporters at 7 p.m. Wednesday at 8, we are live with the Pace Radio Show. But we're not done yet, because on Thursday, the Reefer Reporters return with another Reefer Report. Meanwhile, once a month, Thursdays bring you the Grassroots Advocate, the Pace Radio Network's audio magazine. All these shows, plus more, are found right here on paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
What is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network? It's a network of people advocating cannabis education.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888. And grow on with CP.
Who has huge buds? You do. If you shop at BMA Hydroponics, attend one of BMA's educational seminars and learn the secrets of growing, harvesting, processing, and consuming quality cannabis and cannabis products. Learn how to make better extracts, edibles, and medicinal creams at prices you can afford. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive, Belleville, or call 603-967-9888.
The only way to go.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net. Hello and welcome back. You're watching or maybe listening, if you're listening to the audio podcast, the Pace Radio Show. We are live here on the network's Facebook pages as well as on YouTube. And if you missed the live shows, don't worry, we got that covered because you can always catch the podcast afterwards at paceradio.net. And Kim, just so you know, it doesn't matter whether it's the audio podcast or whether it is the video podcast. We have both of them there at the network's website.
That's right. You can catch us on all fronts.
That's right. Exactly. All right. Well, we've got a guest here tonight, and he's involved in the Canadian Charter Challenge in the courts to deal with cannabis. So why don't we bring him in? And you know what I'm going to do this time? Because, you know, I've probably butchered his name when we left. So I'm gonna have him say his name so that I make sure I get it right.
Good idea.
All right. All right. Welcome aboard, Pat. How you doing, buddy?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me back. Don't worry, you didn't butcher it too bad. I've had it butchered a lot worse. It's Warnecke.
Warnecke. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Warnecke.
All right.
Not right at all.
Warnecke. I think maybe in the intro I might have used Warnecke. And I thought,
Yeah, you did it the first time. You did it right.
Did I? Okay. All right.
You said it different the first time than the second time.
Oh, because I wasn't sure the first time, and I didn't ask you before the show.
That's right. That's all right. You're good.
All right, good. All right. Okay, so before the break, we were doing a lot of talk about the court case and the challenge and stuff. And basically, I believe where we're at, where you were just at, like with the closing arguments, was just last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had closing arguments.
So basically, through the long of it all, after they did all this shit to you and everything, you launched a constitutional challenge against them, and you're saying what they did was wrong, and that's weaving its way through the courts right now, and they've just done closing arguments. So bring us in on how that's looking.
Yeah, absolutely. The closing arguments went well. I think that we had good arguments. At the end of the day, the only Crown arguments were basically warning the judge about making big decisions that are changing, things of the past and things like that. So I don't think it was a very good argument on their case, and I think that the issues they brought up were as part of their argument, we already proved to be false in part of our case.
Right.
So I'm hoping that the judge saw that too. I think she did a very good job as far as asking the right questions. I think she did a very good job as far as really digging, I guess, for wanting the answers. I mean, for example, at the end for the closing statements at the very end, she wanted a written, overall, what was it? Review, I guess, of what our asks were, but what she really wanted, that she dug into, she wanted to know exactly the milligram amounts that we were talking about that were in the regulations for the LPs for that 30 milligram per milliliter carrier oil, and she wanted to know all the science behind all that, and she really dug into that, and we really did a good job of explaining that. Like, we went over that for like an hour and a half. So the fact that she wanted to know more about that, and not only that, but one of our main testimonies for Hunter, the autistic child, teenager, was directly related to that, and he couldn't have a better story or picture perfect problem with access, including the fact that he had to fight with their social services home. I don't know if it's called social, whatever their care home. They had to fight with them even legally to get the kid the medicine he needed. So I'm hoping, I'm being optimistic that it's good. She said she was busy. I think all judges are busy across Canada, that she was going to take a little while to get back to us on the decision. That being said, we kind of thought that if she was going to say 3 months type thing, that it might not be looking good in our favor, because it's a lot quicker to write a rejection than it is to change something or make any recommendations to the government for changes and everything like that. So the decision's due, she says, June 30th, and she also said if she's done by then, If not, she'll extend it into August, she said. So
Well, at least you got June 30th. It's still another 5 months away, but
yeah,
at least you've got something to look at as far
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
instead of a endless road, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
when
for
you're
what?
changing law, they take their time with that because they want all of the wording correctly. They want to be able to lay out a roadmap when you're changing law. As you said, when you're just like, no, I disagree, you lose. That's a quick couple of lines. There's no research required for a rejection, right?
Yeah.
There is research required to change law.
Yeah, and the fact that she asked, which my lawyer thought was uncommon, the fact that she asked for a written overall review of our final statements at the end is that she didn't just take what he said and take the notes and go, but she kind of asked like what the changes that we were asking for, what would be a way to remediate what's going on to what we're asking for, because at the end of the day, I think what we saw in previous cases, even last year with Sean Howell, he set the tone, so to speak, and started the path off, but they didn't really make any changes as far as anything that was practical that could be applied. I think that was the problem with it, is there was no recommended changes that could remediate what's going on. So I think that's what we really tried to corner when we were asking for what we wanted to have changes at the end. I think Mark did a good job of that. Yeah. And I think that's where we tried to make a difference, is try to corner it to say, to maybe not give as many outs as them just going, oh, well.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're like in his case, they like he got off, and he's like so to speak, but there wasn't any changes made. And I mean, getting off grade, because I think no matter what my personal charges, criminal charges, after what's been shown in the industry in the last 4 years, after what's history shown in the last 4 years, and the overdoses, and that the world didn't come to an end when legalization happened, and not everybody died of poison cannabis, and all these things didn't happen.
Right.
I think that, well, my case kind of aged like a fine wine that way, and or a fine sativa, I guess. And I think that that's going to play in our favor. And I don't think my personal charges, even if we lose a charter case, are that big of an issue. But the biggest thing is we want to make a change in the charter, and that was our biggest goal from the start.
So what?
Yeah, absolutely.
What changes in the charter could happen?
Well, I guess it's not changing the charter.
And the thing, I like the fact that the judge asked you what was an acceptable change, or what would you basically accept? What do you recommend?
And the kids' meds, what were the levels? That's
huge.
It.
Yeah. That's what we want. We want, and that's all. That's at the end of the day. I mean, the LPs and the laws have changed since 2018. There is more. That's gonna be their argument, is there is more access, this and that. We're arguing, saying, well, affordability is a means of access, first of all, and obviously the high potency fecal oil and specific oils, it still isn't available, as well as other suppositories. There is some companies carrying it now, but there's issues with that. We're just flat out asking for access. We need access. Patients need to have more access points, be able to access what they need when they need, and without anything in the way, just like people have at Shoppers Drug Mart or for any other medication in Canada at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah.
I feel you, man. And I am so glad that you're doing this. I mean, that's been my biggest and almost my only bitch about legalization since legalization came to this country, is that it came on the backs of patients. Patients have been left behind in the grand scheme of things now. Patients no longer matter. Patients' meds aren't being advanced. We're not looking at patients' needs. It's all about rec, 10 milligram limits. Go buy your prescription in the rec store. You don't need a prescription anymore because we have rec. And I'm sorry about this, because we have rec. And meanwhile, rec doesn't even carry anything that would supply the prescription needs that a legacy patient has. I mean,
they don't have the
we've
products
been
and you
left
go broke.
in the dust.
Oh,
and not to mention the amount of sugar, the preservatives, the packaging, the cost.
lack of
when
help,
you've got a 10
the lack of
milligram limit. I
experience.
mean, for my tea, my morning tea, 60 milligrams is in my morning tea. What do I do at
That's
the legal store with that?
$45, Kim. Costs you about $45
For my
a
morning
day.
morning
coffee.
tea.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah. So that's
like,
what $1,300 a month.
yeah, just for my tea in the morning, and then I got to medicate again at lunch, sometimes in between, and then again, I mean, come on,
Yeah, that's why we cover the
come on.
affordability issue as being a major issue and
Good.
drawback to this. And we actually had we spoke about to that quite intently. I mean, it is a huge issue. Even again, for not to beat a dead horse, but for Hunter, part of his case was that what they had to give that child, it was costing them $86 a day from the stuff that they got from the original LP from Saskatchewan. And when we started helping them at Best Buds, it was costing $12 a day. Wow.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
you're talking a young family?
Yeah.
$86 a day for one child?
Yeah, I know people that spend $12 a day on 2 coffees at Starbucks. This is manageable.
Yeah.
It is manageable. I mean, it still sucks, but it's manageable. They could still afford it at $86 a day. I mean, that's ridiculous, and it's not. It's simply not treated the same. Our medicine's not treated the same as anyone else's medication. That needs to be addressed. We all knew that they would try to do just that they'll wipe us off into the rec system. They've now proven that that's exactly what they did. Doctors are no longer prescribing. There's no longer access points as far as information or experience for people to talk to. On so many levels, there's no access.
Yeah,
it's sad.
That's a big thing, not being able to have anybody to talk to. Like, there's no reason why, for example, like, I don't know whether this is a solution to it or whatever, but to be able to have, like, if you can go into your Guardian drugstore and you can walk past the cosmetics or hair stuff or whatever, and then go in and get your prescriptions. Well, why can't you go into a cannabis store and actually go to a counter and have somebody like you guys that's operating and working as a medical end to be able to help guide patients through that come into these stores where they're not getting the guidance that they need?
Absolutely, 100%.
And they can explain the differences the same as your pharmacist would explain the differences between the 17 allergy pills that are on the counter. All right. They're standing there looking at you face. There's 17 brands of them. They all have different ingredients. What the hell is the difference in these pills? You got to explain 100%. This to me. How do I know which one do I need? Well, why is that? Why is that taboo with cannabis or natural medicine of any kind?
You know why? Because they can't control it, because there's too many combinations of cannabinoids and terpenes that it scares them, and they don't know it enough because they don't have experience. And it's an experience thing. And because there's no definitive answer that they can give for something, then they don't like it. And the fact is most natural medicine is like that. They're used to single molecule medicine. And single molecule medicine just simply is not what we need. And that comes with experience to know exactly what the cannabinoid, terpene, content or combinations of different flowers. That comes from experience. And you know what? At the end of the day, the people that don't fucking know, pardon me, but the people that don't know and the people that don't know shit about cannabis, well, guess what's going to happen? Patients aren't going to go there. They're going to go bankrupt. They're going to go, and that'll be it. The people that do know, the people that do pay for their employees to go through courses and take professional courses, and then on top of that, let them go to other courses as well as learn on the job and learn from all these different things, as well as taste testing them and having samples available for people to try out and things like that. And then coming from experience and talking from patient to patient every day. That's what gets your reputation. That makes people comfortable to come see you. And we had everybody comfortable coming to see us.
Come back.
Right. And then you have Stu in the back office there, or someone like Stu that's sitting there that can answer the more complicated questions that your bud tender can't. And the bud tender is actually comfortable enough that they don't feel threatened because they've taken courses. They know exactly when they're beyond their their threshold for knowledge, and they go, hey, we have a guy that needs to talk to you about that. That's beyond my world of knowledge here, but I can help you out as far as this. But you have those things set in place. You have the proper training in place that they can exactly do just that and escalate as they need necessary or as they learn, because you have a learning culture in there of things on the wall and videos playing and things like that they become proud. And next thing you know, you have blue-haired old ladies coming in recommending to other people in line what they should have because they've been in there enough and they know all about it now. And we had that. We used to have this little senior citizens bus from a local senior citizens home that would come on. I can't remember what it was, Tuesdays or Thursdays or something. And these little old ladies would get out and watch out anybody in line that didn't know anything about cannabis. And it was awesome, right? And that's how it should be. Yeah. And unfortunately, we killed that culture.
Each one teach one.
Right, that's right.
Yeah,
each one teach one.
Yeah. It's there's so many patients that are out there that look for the guidance, and it's just it's unfortunate. So
yeah, it's awesome when somebody It's awesome when somebody experienced that's sort of in the senior set is the one that's guiding a newbie. I think that's just
it's awesome. It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And we had so many issues. We had so many things like that all the time. It was awesome. Like we had some marginalized people working for us. We had people with physical disabilities working for us, mental disabilities. We had this awesome culture. People go in the back and taste test their stuff. We had a consumption area for them. Like I said, we had stew available. We had all these awesome staff that were pumped there every day. Everybody was happy. We had to send people home that were sick because they'd come to work sick. And we were like, no, you can't come to work sick. You got to go home.
You can't come to work. Go home.
And that kind of culture is how it should have been, and
they enjoyed going to work.
They don't want to stay home.
Stories. Yeah, because we have to cause that culture. We have to have that around us. When people are coming in for cancer, people are coming from all these issues. You have to have that kind of culture, that kind of attitude, because of the seriousness and the taboo of issues that we're talking to them about, as well as just having the positive attitude. I mean, we had so many people along the way that so many of our patients and friends that we lost along the way from. People are dying from different issues, from overdoses to obviously cancer patients that we had that we got close with, and you want to keep it a fresh place in there because that's the nature of what you're dealing with. You want people to go with a fresh smile on their face and have some hope too, right?
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
You're dealing with serious issues. So now you're awaiting a verdict on the constitutional challenge. I mean, life has been. Wow, a roller coaster ride for several years now, almost it's a half a decade we're into almost here for you on this journey with courts and everything else. I wanna make sure. Let me just double check my time. Yeah, I'm gonna dive into this. So through it all, you're still an entrepreneur, and you developed a brand new product. Through all of this shit storm that you've been in, you're sitting there and you're medicating and you're finding out about something that we all dabbers, me included, my method of choice is a nectar collector. I'm a dabber, and many of us legacy consumers are dabbers because of the extra effect that allows for. You've come up with a unique solution to a problem that many of us face, and that is without an e-nail, temperature control of your rig. And this is something that you have dove into. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's actually a thermometer. It actually just tells us. So it's only really. Well, I mean, you can use it with nectar collectors to give you a more precise temperature, but it's more for using with glass bangers. Crystal bangers, where traditionally we're all putting our wrist above the banger to feel if it's too hot or it's too cold, or we're looking at a stopwatch and then you miss your time, then I'm gonna do it all over again, all that kind of stuff.
People say the smell; they can tell by the smell.
Yeah.
That too.
We're cutting out all that. We're cutting out all the guessing games. So this is what it is. Oh, there's a little light on the front. It's kind of blurry on there, but it's just basically a little black box, and it goes with our app. Oh, that's probably bright. You can't see it on there. Sorry.
No. Bring the box back closer to the. I'll go the other way, and spin it around. Lower it.
There's a light on the front. I'll turn that off right now so the light doesn't blare everybody. There's a light in the front. It's just a little black box.
What's
And
on
it has
top? Anything on top?
Yeah, it has a hole,
No?
just a hole in the top, just a hole there. And all it does is it's an infrared thermometer. So we're able to put that, pardon my rig, we're able to put that right underneath on the table, and it gives us very precise temperature reading on the app. And the app is a pretty cool app. It just has like an old Chevy truck kind of temperature gauge on it. So it kind of goes up and down. So if it's in the red zone, it's too hot, you know. And it also has either you can preset it for presets of whatever temperatures you want. You can also put it in Celsius and Fahrenheit. But like I said, it's got a gauge that goes up and down, kind of a circular gauge. And it also tells you the digital readout. So there's three ways that you can see it, from the digital readout to the gauge, colorful gauge, as well as the temperature up top. So it tells you exactly what you need to know. Yeah, I haven't had a bad dab in 2 years as we've been developing this thing. I went through a few different demo models, and we've just had we got caught up by the microchip crisis that happened recently. So we got held up by about 6 months, but they're actually coming out April 20th release this year. So
April 20th.
April 20th release this
year. You're not waiting to 7th, not waiting until July 10th, eh?
No, for sure. We're not going to do that. No, we were having some pre-sales we're getting going on that, but you know, there's actually, since we started developing this, another competitor came out on the market, but they're almost twice as expensive as ours, and ours got a neat little app and it does the exact same function. So and it's a lot more portable, and it's I think it's it's more user friendly that way, as well as it's not as breakable. So I think that we have a good product, and we're going to try to take it obviously across Canada. We're going to maybe do some marketing with some glass blowers and things like that in the industry, and try to help support that kind of community out as well, and do some cross marketing. So yeah, we hope to do that in the future and take it internationally.
I think it's very cool, and I think it's very cool seeing the innovation that is still taking place in the cannabis community. I mean, here we got, and that's where most of this innovation comes from, is from us consumers recognizing an issue. It's like, frig, I wish I knew how hot this is. It seems right. I don't know. And then you get into the whole debate when people come over, right? Oh, no, that's too hot. Oh, no, you let it cool down too much. And then this one and that one and this idea, try it this way. Oh, this way's better and this way's better. Yeah. You are put your brain together and you solve that. You're like, okay, you know what? Here's a little box. It'll sit underneath there. It's going to record the temperature. It's going to send it to your phone. And we're even going to make an app that will tell you when the sweet spot is. I actually queued up a video. I don't know if Al wants to.
Did you queue up a video? Oh, that's it over here to the side?
I did.
Okay. All right.
It is.
Do you want to say what it is? Go ahead. I looked at that.
Well, this is the video of the app being used. This is the box being used. This is the video we got from Pat.
So this is the one that Pat sent us.
This is the one you sent me. Yeah. You sent it to me. Pat sent it to you. Yeah.
We'll go to the commercial break. All right. We'll do the commercial break. And then when we come back, we'll play this, because this is about 5 minutes long.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's like 4 minutes.
Yeah. So we'll go to the break. Let's play this, and then we can talk a little bit more about this unique contraption and the awesome app that goes with it.
Yes, exactly. All right, off we go. Kim and I'll continue this conversation when we get right back. You're watching the Pace Radio Show here on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook pages, as well as on YouTube.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own cannabis is easier than you think. Whether you're growing for recreational or medical purposes, BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. From the standard 4-plant recreational systems to the latest cutting-edge hydroponic equipment, BMA can customize your package and do it at discount prices. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and ask us for a free estimate. Or call 613-967-9888 and we will give you an estimate over the phone.
The only way to go.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
The People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network, found at paceradio.net, provides its listeners with news, information, and a place to be heard. This is done through our 5 weekly live video and audio broadcasts that cover cannabis and psychedelic news, plus those we interview. We get started Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Reefer Reporters. Then at 9 p.m. we're live with Canada Quebec. Tuesday brings you Open Your Eye or the Psychedelic Reporters at 7 p.m. Wednesday at 8, we are live with the Pace Radio Show. But we're not done yet, because on Thursday, the Reefer Reporters return with another Reefer Report. Meanwhile, once a month, Thursdays bring you the Grassroots Advocate, the Pace Radio Network's audio magazine. All these shows, plus more, are found right here on paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to the Pace Radio Show. We are being broadcasted live here at the Pace Radio Network's Facebook and YouTube pages. Plus, the audio and the video podcast will be available at paceradio.net following. As you can see, Kim's here with me, as well as our guest, Pat Warnecke, is with us as well. Welcome back, Pat.
Thank you.
All right, Kim, I'm going to pass things over to you, and you can introduce this video we're going to deal with here.
Okay, so this is a video that we were sent that shows us the basic operation of Pat's device. Dabinator, am I correct? The Dabinator?
Dabster.
I think that's what it's called.
It's called the Dabster.
Sorry, the Dabster.
Yeah, no
my bad.
And this is actually isn't my marketing video. It's just a demonstration video. So please don't critique it too much for us. It's just a personal video. But hey, please by all means play it.
Yeah, this was just something to give us a basic outline of how this is going to work. Of course, proper video will be put out later. This is something we were just sharing amongst ourselves, but I thought, well, we're talking about this. Let's show them how it works.
We have that.
We're gonna share that right now. Al, I'm gonna let you control it because you've got a faster internet.
Yeah, all right, not a problem. Okay, so here we go. We'll see you on the other side, everybody.
All right. Okay.
We'll run down how they work. As you can see, there's just one button on the side, one light on there. A little top, I chart it, but there's a little. That's what the sensor comes out of, and then there's the plug-in on the side. Anyways, what we do is you go through to the app, the Dabster app. Open up the Dabster app. All right, then we'll turn on the Dabster unit. Blinking means looking for a signal. What's in there? Pair new device. Connect that. Steady green light says it's connected. Obviously up on here we can change the profile, the about, the info. But on the dashboard, we can change all the parameters as far as our Celsius, Fahrenheit, custom settings for custom ranges and the highs and lows, or custom ranges for heat, sounds and notifications if we want them on or off for the high range, low range, the alarm sounds, like if you wanted alarm sounds or just the vibrations. So anyways, we've already heated this thing up a little bit before I started the video, so let's see where it's at. We're actually going to heat up a little more here. Let's do this a sec here. So I'm going to heat up this banger here, get it nice and hot, so just to give you an idea, show you. I don't have any of the vibrations on it now, the sounds, but just so I can talk it through here, but I can assure you it vibrates in my hand when it's on and lets you know if it's too hot and too cold. So anyways, as we're looking at it here, you can see there's obviously the digital readout here, and then obviously the gauge here, almost like an old Chevy. So it's telling you what the temperature is outside. The purple is there. So we put the banger, let's get this underneath here. We just put it underneath, directly underneath, and boom, the purple goes up. Obviously, in the gauge, the purple goes up, and it shows you that it's way too hot. It's in the red zone, so it's obviously way too hot in the red zone, right? So as it cools off, it starts turning a little bit more orange. As the digital readout's getting lower, obviously, it's getting lower and lower. In the future, the apps here, what we have is we have a design. So in the app, this thing will move up a little bit here, and it will be we can play our videos right here for marketing and advertisement, as well as data analysis type stuff. So as it goes down in temperature, continuing on here, it turns orange. It's still not red hot, still orange, a little too hot still. 550 degrees, you could dab that, but it's a little too hot. A lot of guys would make that mistake and hit it right now, and it would actually be pretty bad. It would be a little bit charring, a little bit flashing it, and they wouldn't enjoy the full taste, and get a little bit sore in the throat too. As it gets down below 500 degrees here, it turns a little bit yellow. Again, it's getting better. Not perfect yet, but it's getting better. And for this dab here today, I'm just going to throw a little bit of shatter in there just so you get an idea, but obviously you can use it with terpenes and with anything else. Obviously, as it's to 450 degrees, it's still getting yellow. Not quite ideal for what I have it set for my personal preference. As we get, she's turning a little bit green. She's turning green. Yes, she is. She's turning green. There's my temperature. Now she's hitting green here. So boom, I hit it. Perfect dab, man. Perfect taste, everything else. I can continue on. Perfect dab, perfect taste, perfect dab every time. Now, I can also just tap it. Now, because I know my exact temperature, I just tap with the torch, just a touch here. 430. See, just a little tappity tap. You can tell that because of the infrared thermometer.
That's gonna be on a shirt. Tapping tap. That's gonna be on a shirt for sure. Eh?
So even for tapping up, which is very common for people to do while smoking, it's a very efficient tool. Very efficient tool. Anyways, that's the Dabster. I'm sure you can see the reasoning and the hype that's going to be happening here. So we're going into full production in a month's time here, and working out the final kinks, but there's not many left. This app's working pretty slick, let me tell you. So we'll see what the temperature's at. Still put it above there. So yeah, it's still 255 degrees, eh? But yeah, great app, great program. It's going to be unbelievable here.
There you go. Looks good. Oh, I got
Awesome,
muted.
guys.
What's that?
That's awesome. Thank you very much. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
Oh,
that's
I'm
First
talking
public
away
scene of
and I
it. That's
was
the very first.
What's that? What was that?
Yeah,
Pat?
so that's awesome. I was yakking away and I was muted. Yeah, that's the Dabster. I mean, it's very cool. You're solving a lot of the problems that a lot of people have. And this is a huge problem, especially for people that use the banger and the glass bowl types that you were using there, which is an extremely popular peace. People
Oh,
gravitated towards the glass and the quartz and that, and they got away from the metal. I'm old school. I'm a metal tip girl. I have my e-nail and it's a metal bowl attached to my e-nail. I use my dab rig and I use the metal tip. I don't use the glass one. I can't get into the glass. I'm so scared of it. I'm going to break it. It's going to melt. It's going to get too hot. I'm
Sure.
just, I don't know. Some
But
things
you know what?
I think
You
we're
can
too
still use
old
the
to
Dabster.
change.
there you go.
You can still use a Dabster. You can still put the Dabster, put it above the Dabster. Still have,
Yeah.
because you can see, I still use. I like my nectar collector. I still use a nectar if I'm on the road or so on for ease. I still use those. But I also, if I use it, you're having a direct pipe in of a hot pipe. It can get pretty damn hot, and if you have it too hot, it really burns your throat. So it does help though. You can take it. I've tested it already. I've used my nectar collector. I've put the Dabster above it, and it still does the exact same job.
Good to
Yeah,
know.
that's
Good to know.
awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I was showing it to my friend JJ is here right now. And I was showing it to her after I watched it. I said, "Oh, JJ, you got to see this." And I showed it to her. I
Awesome.
said, "You could just hold your nectar collector over top of that and it would tell me exactly the temperature that, because with a nectar collector there's no way to know. We do
No.
the same thing with
Yeah.
that, right? I heat it up. I know that if it's like sort of light pinkish on the tip, okay, that's enough. Take it away, sort of count to 10, blow on it a couple times. Oh, okay, that's about right, I think. And
It's no
you
longer
dive
red.
in, but you have no idea
That's
what
what we
the
all do
hell
for years, right?
temperature is,
No, you
right?
don't.
So this solves that.
Now I noticed, and you said it during the video. You talked about your preference for temperature.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what my email said.
I know. I almost fell
You're way too hard
over.
for me.
I was like, "Oh, that is so low."
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it. I didn't know a dab would melt at that low of a
Yeah, well, that's extremely low. I have COPD and asthma, so I like to have mine low. And like if I have anything over like 470, I really start to hack. So for me, I definitely not over 500. So I mean, that's why I found a need, because I was smoking a lot of dabs, and all the time I was having them too hot. Then I'd be hacking, and wreck my day or whatever else. So for me, I just had to get down to 500, 450, 500 ish. And that was the only way to either having an electric e-nail, like you said, or else I couldn't use it. But the e-nails were in metal. I didn't really like the metal.
Yeah.
All these things. So well, I was actually I ate a bunch of edibles one day, and I actually bought my brother and my dad one of those meat thermometers for Christmas that you stick into your steak.
Yeah.
And then I ate a bunch of edibles, and I was having dabs, and I was like, "Hey, let's make something here." That's basically what happened. So and it worked.
So cool.
Yeah,
that is so cool. That's awesome. Yeah, my sweet spot for my e-nail with my metal bowl was like 540.
Yeah, hey.
Really? Eh? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about e-nails too, and I found this because we had several e-nails at the shop and at my house. Is e-nails have different temperatures too. One might say 540, but unless you measure with a thermometer, it might actually be at 510. Right?
Exactly. How accurate is it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we had them all set at the same temperature at the shop. We had like 4 in a row. We had them at the same temperature, and they all smoked different. So it was, we were all, what's the right temperature?
I'm turning mine down.
What do you got in that now?
What it was at 640.
Ooh, that's hot. Yeah, that's upper
wow,
level for
that's
me.
high.
Yeah, that's upper level.
That's high.
Even try 550. Try 550 or 500 to start with. See if you like it at that. I mean, I honestly, the taste difference to me is night and day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And even at 550, you'll still get all of it out.
I find at a lower.
Go ahead.
It tastes better at a lower temperature. There's no question, because you're not burning off the terps as quickly. That's a given. I mean, science tells us that, right? We know what temperature terps burn at. So if your temperature is higher than that, then you're going to burn them before you taste them. For sure, that's a given. But for me, it was the amount of smoke. At the lower temperatures, because it burns so slowly, you've got to take in it. It takes a lot longer to do the same amount. It takes
Yeah,
more
it does.
air to get it in. And
It
that
does.
would make me choke more. I need a big hit all at once, get it in, get it done. These long, drawn out shit, I'm hacking up a lung and I'm on the floor because I can't breathe because I just took too much air in.
Sure, fair enough. I get that too. I get that too. And there is a fine line where if it's just a little bit too low, it does that to me too. There is, and that's where I got picky.
Yeah.
I want to have it precise, right? So if I have it right at the precise, it's just more
Yeah.
enjoyable. I'm not coughing and hacking on one side, and I'm not having that long drawn out draw at the other side too. You know, there's a sweet spot there, and that's I think honestly, I think
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to send you guys out one. Once you try it and you're bang on every single time, it's just night and day different.
Oh, I'm gonna send
Yeah,
your
well, I'd
video
be
to
curious
a friend of
know.
mine. I've got a friend that he's Mr. Squishy on Instagram, and he's
Nice.
always making
Yeah.
rosin and stuff. And he's got one of those type of bangers like what you've got there that you showed in the video. He's got something similar to that.
Yeah.
And I think he'd really like that because he's one of those guys who
Yeah.
does that heat temperature thing on the wrist.
It does
right?
it on you do it on your wrist. You just
Yeah.
you just drag your wrist across it like that,
Absolutely.
and it's like, oh, get
Well,
it
there's
nice and
lots to
close.
that.
How much does it make your hair singe? Then you know what the temperature is, and
Well, with those
yeah,
glass
there's all
bangers
kinds
too.
of crazy stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. With those glass and the crystal bangers, the thing is, and we actually have there's an emulsivity setting on there. So depending on what product you're using, if you're using a metal banger or whatever else, you can actually adjust that. So, but what I'm getting at is some bangers they drop a lot faster in temperature. The cheaper bangers drop in temperature very fast. The really expensive bangers tend to hold their temperature. But the other thing is when you're paying $500 and some of these bangers, like these Evan Shore bangers and things like this, they're $5,000 a banger and stuff. So you don't
They're
exactly
money.
want to torch
Yeah,
that
they're
thing up to
big money.
1400 degrees because you know what I'm saying is you don't want to over torch it too. If you only have to heat it up to 700 degrees, there's no use heating up to 1400 degrees and to start to wreck your crystals slowly at a time, right? So you know it helps as far as health wise. If you don't have a too high where you're having the carcinogens and all the bad parts of the of too high temperatures, you can save yourself with some health problems with that potentially, as well as obviously your equipment. And that's what I found is I haven't been really wrecking my bangers anymore. I used to have some expensive bangers and I wreck them because I'd get them too red hot. Where now it's like, well, I don't need to get them red hot.
That's right.
The only reason I got them red hot is I used to have to get them red hot because it was a countdown. We'd get them red hot and then I knew a minute 20.
Yeah.
After we get them red hot, minute 20, put my wrist above. Okay, it's good, right? And that's why you heat them up to red hot. But you shouldn't be reheating those things up to red hot, right?
Right.
No,
yes.
and that's exactly what I do with my nectar collector. I put the torch until the tip of it is just starting to glow pink.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, that's hot. Okay, I know it's hot. Okay, that's good. Then you stop, and then it's like, okay, count to 10, and then you go, huff, 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 and then
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
It's like, that's about right. That's about where I want it, but you got to go through this process, right?
That's right.
I would eliminate that process so it'll be just a little bit more simple. That's all.
That
I
certainly
think it's
looks
great.
like, that certainly looks like that will do that because, like you said, you can't set the temperature on those.
No.
Those.
You can't.
No, and they're getting pretty popular. Like a lot of guys like the glass bangers and the artistic, bongs and things like that, and they're pretty popular. And guys are looking for a way to protect them and as well as enjoy them. And I think this is, I'm certainly in that category. I like my glass, my crystal bongs, my glass bongs. Personally, I have a collection, and some people are like that. And at the same time, I have my nectar collector for when I'm on the road, just like what you're having there. So either way, it works. It works for me. So. And we all have to have it, and we all have to have it, and it's not like we're going to quit having it. But if we can not waste some money and not waste, that's a big thing.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. There's a message there from Danny Jones.
Gonna have a dab with us all right now while we're talking about all of this. They had a snow day, busy day.
Yeah, it's snow day. Yeah, it's still snowing here. It's gonna be snowing tomorrow too, all day. It ain't stopping all night. It's gonna be
I
snowing.
just hope we can just let it go right around Englehart, kind of, just give us a little hug.
Everyone's getting it, eh?
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, we've got
Little
enough
loop.
snow over the last couple of weeks. I can tell you that. But
This is my first vote.
it doesn't look very big. It looks like it's something you can fit in a pocket.
You stick it in
very
your
easily.
pocket.
There's
That's
no
it.
weight to it, eh?
That's
there
it. It's
you
just
go.
small. Oop, where are we going here?
Yeah.
It's small. It's just got a little oil on it. So other than that, though, it's just small. You put it in your pocket and you can take it to wherever you want to go dab.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit of it. And, compared to our one competitor, but I think it's, I think it's going to be a good design. It's portable. It's cordless. The battery goes forever on it. And it's Bluetooth.
Just Bluetooth. Just plug it in and charge it.
Bluetooth.
Yep.
And it runs with an app. I mean, we've got apps for everything, right? So this is
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And the reason we want that too is for the future development of it. The future development of it is going to be to a point where people can take and keep and score products. So if you get a product from whatever company, you can list it, score it. So and you can compare with other people, but you can also keep it for the future. So let's say that this product, because it's a shatter, you like it at this temperature. This product you found you like it at this temperature, so you can keep those things in the settings in the future for your personal preferences.
Preferences, yeah. Sort of like personal settings.
Yeah, I've found in different products if you use full melt wax or rosin or hash versus a shatter versus the slurry or something else. They all if you once you try this and you really get into it, you really notice that the different strains and the different products, they really do taste better and different, 40 or 50 degrees difference. And once you get into the nitpicky of it, and you do find that. And that's kind of a fun part of it, is kind of finding those sweet spots.
Yeah, like I lowered mine 90 degrees and I noticed the difference in the taste.
How is it?
Better. I'm going for another dab.
There you go, right?
Going for another dab tastes better. And different products burn at different temperatures, right? So if you've got a wax or if you've got a butter versus a live resin versus a rosin, the texture of all of these different products will react differently to different temperatures.
Exactly.
So I mean, I played around with mine too, depending on what I was consuming when I had my e-nail and I was actually setting my temperatures and stuff. It's like, oh, what are you smoking? Oh no, turn that up. Oh, what do you got? Oh no, shit, turn that down.
And for any of us that are old enough, and for any of us that were old enough for different parts of the world that smoked a lot of hashes before all these other extracts came out.
Yeah.
The original full melt hash, like the gold of gold hashes, if you have that, even 20 degrees too hot, it tastes like burnt shit, right? You need to have it at the right temperature for that full.
Right, don't overheat that bitch.
No, because it's still got the material in it, not like today's fully extracted extracts with their screens and everything else that they have in them nowadays, right?
Yeah, you didn't take a lighter to it and do this to mix it up, heat it all up with the lighter. I'll get it all nice and hot and get it, charcoaly, and then mix it. No, you just destroyed it.
I'll tell you right off the bat, I noticed a difference in the flavor, and I haven't coughed from that dab.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. So what
and you won't. It's easier on the throat.
It's sitting at 550.
So 550 is like kind of the upper end of mine. So anywhere from 500, try 500 even next time, and see how you like it there. You might find your sweet spot. We really put a lot of time. It's going to be part of our app and stuff. We put a lot of time into looking at the science behind the different terpenes and flavonoids and cannabinoids and their different melting temperatures, vapor temperatures. And we're going to be having a bunch of those charts on the apps and stuff too. And it's interesting. It gives people the visuals to look at it and see, geez, well, that's why I want to have it at that temperature. Geez, this is why. So we want to put some science behind it too, so people can see what temperatures the carcinogens start to take effect at and things like that, eh?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because they're too hot, you burn them off before you even get to use them. I'm actually having a bit of feeling the difference of effect, not only the taste but the effect of it as
That's
well.
right. And that's why by knowing that, having those charts on their availability, and because then you'll see because some terpenes, if you have it at 500 degrees, they're gone. You know,
Right.
they're gone at
Yeah.
470, 480. So that's what I'm saying is even that one kind of strain of cannabis in an extract, you can actually get different effects from adjusting it. Realistically, you can. And I've noticed that, just like you just said.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And
we're
that's because
learning all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah. We're
at
learning
your
about that all the
700 or
time, and the effects of
right.
terpenes. Yeah, terpenes play a huge role. And
Absolutely.
nobody really
Right.
had a clue. We were all about, oh, that's about the smell, and it's about the flavor, and it's not really anything except the smell, and it's like no. It's like
Yeah.
a tractor trailer, right? They've got 18 wheels on a tractor
Mhm.
trailer. If you take a
That-
couple of those wheels off, the tractor trailer will still drive, but it doesn't drive right.
That's right. That's exactly.
Right.
And
Right.
that's why I have to sometimes some dab
know?
at 440, and that's why some stuff I can have up at 480, right? And it really is a
Yeah.
very precise tool for getting the effects you want. You can take that exact same strain, and you can either get up in the day because you were high, the temperature was up high enough that you didn't get the effects of some terpenes that you might have, like linalool, that might have put you to bed. But later on that day, maybe you have a lower temperature, so you catch that linalool terpene, and it puts you to bed.
Oh, yes. I can see that.
So it's all kind of fun. Honestly, it's been a great year trying to test these things out. And
I've just come in and turn it on. It's just always on the same setting, right?
Yeah.
But
makes a difference. Makes a huge difference. And I would love to have. I loved my email for that, for setting the temperature to create different effect, and depending on what you were consuming and everything.
Mhm.
I fell in love with my nectar collector a few years back, and I put my email away and I never looked back. But that is the one thing I miss, is precise temperatures that you got with the email, and you don't have that option with this. There's nothing out there that allows for that. So I'm excited for this new apparatus and its app. Absolutely. My biggest bitch is when I'm doing my little thing where I cool it down. Sometimes I cool it down too much, and I go and do a dab, and I get a little poof, and it's like, ah, shit, that was cheap. Now I gotta do it again.
All right. Exactly. I guess it's just, it's like just having a little puff instead of a big puff. It's
yeah. I always feel cheated,
density,
right?
Density of it, the whole, the whole bit. So we're like this product, it's out now, or it's
so no, it's not actually. March 20th is when the pre-orders start, and then April 20th it will be available in stores.
Okay.
So we're actually just finishing the final touches on the website right now. So as of March 20th, the pre-orders will start, and then, like I said, the stores will have them for the April 20th release.
All right.
Yeah. So it should be good. We hope that, like I said, we can hopefully ignite some of the community back and get some cross marketing going with the original glass blowers and things like that to see some things.
I would think that the glass blowers would like something like this because of the fact that it allows their customers to be able to do, to check the temperatures to make sure that they're not overheating
ensures
their
for longevity.
That they,
Absolutely. And not only that, but let's admit it, instead of maybe going and getting maybe, no offense, Kim, maybe instead of getting a nectar collector, they go buy a rig with a banger because they can have precise dabs and they didn't have a bad experience. It's remarkable. I've had some dabs with some people that are pretty famous before, and you'd think that they'd know how to dab. And when I went to dab with them, they were having like red hot dabs, and I was like, "Holy shit, man! Let me show you something." And like these are, I'm not gonna name the guy's name, but he's a famous guy. But long story short, when I sat with him and his crew and they were doing a concert in Regina, I was like, "Here, let's do it like this." And we did it like the way I wanted to. And all of a sudden he's like, "Holy shit, this is way better." I was like, "Well," and it's just something that we sometimes take for granted because we've done it for so long that we just. But a lot of people just getting into it, they just don't know. They just don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just nervous with the glass, and this could solve that nerves, right? I mean, because like everybody else, it's like get it red hot, and then do whatever countdown is appropriate for that piece to get it to what you think is the right temperature, and it's still all guesswork from there. But every time you get that glass red hot, you've just taken a notch out of its life. One of these days, it's gonna go pop. right? Or you're
Yeah.
just going to touch it and it's going to break. And as you say, a lot of these pieces are very, very expensive. And I'm just looking at it going, yeah, knowing me as hard as I am on my rigs, I mean, I'm not gentle with my shit. I mean, I know a lot of people are, and I'm not one of them. I'm pretty rough with my stuff, right? And so, and I'm looking at these things cost so much money. I'm going to get it red hot 50 times a fucking day. And I'm going to slam it down on the thing and it's going to go smash. Right. And it's like, no, I'm out. Right. So that's the only reason. But if I had something that I knew that would solve that problem, then maybe.
Hopefully
Well,
hopefully this can help.
yes,
Make it less
yes.
brittle.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's something that can most certainly help. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about that.
Thank you.
Yes. All righty.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to bring up, Kim? Any more questions? Make
Oh,
them for another
I could talk to
show.
Pat for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could talk to Pat for a while, but
Talk
I
it.
know we're running out of time.
Bottom of the hour. That's right. That's right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
All righty. So shout out time. Over to you, Pat. Shout out person, place, the thing, a website, anything. If you've mentioned it 10 times during the show,
Cheers.
feel
Thank you.
free. Feel free to do it again.
Shout out. We'd like to attract everybody to our website, dabster.app. The official sales don't start till March 20th, but please follow us on social media. Again, dabster.app on Instagram and as well as Facebook and things like that. Please follow us. We'll be letting everybody know when the release is happening, and I think they're going to sell quick. So please, by all means, get in the pre-sale event.
Sounds good. Super. I will, just so you know, I will get that added into the show posting. Dabster.app. Dabster.app. All right. Okay. Kim, actually, I was going to mention something to you about. And is there anywhere people can go to find out some information about
About the court.
The court challenge? Well, I get everybody sick as I rotate back and forth.
We have a group online to follow. I didn't start up a page or anything like that, or an actual site. But we have a page, Canadian Cannabis Charter Challenge, on Facebook. You can go there and join us and follow along what's going on there by all means. And, just everybody in general, support your craft growers and support your people helping your dispensaries, helping patients out. We've lost our way, and you guys have a great advertisement with Legacy 420. Those guys do an amazing job out there. We need more people like those guys, fighting the battle and doing what they can to help patients out. So, do whatever you can to support patients and support patients' causes, folks.
All righty. Super.
Awesome.
All righty, Kim.
Awesome. Shout out. I know. Next week on Tuesday, Psychedelic Tuesdays here on the Pace Radio Network, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Open Your Eye is taking place next week. And we have a guest coming on OYE that is a former Pace Radio Show guest. We are going to have our Jamaican friends from the True Retreat joining us on Open Your Eye next week. So we're going to be talking about going to a lovely retreat in Jamaica and exploring psychedelic therapy while you are catered to and enjoy the Jamaican sunshine.
Awesome.
So join us next Tuesday here on the network.
All right.
And
You're
we're
going
to have a great little show.
Tune in, man. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
That's awesome.
Straight from Jamaica. They're in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
this will be one of our first international shows.
When we had them on the Pace Radio Show, it was excellent because you could hear the background. You could hear the crickets and whatever other little, animal wildlife's going on out there, insect life going on. You could hear that all in the background. It was as if they were in the middle of nowhere in the jungle. It was cool.
Nice.
Yes. Worth watching. There's no doubt about that. All righty. Other than that, Kim and I will be back next week. I will be confirming our guests tomorrow. I've got something special lined up, and hopefully it is all confirmed and ready. So we'll know more later. But other than that, thank you to our sponsors, the friendly folks at BMA Hydroponics, Legacy420.com, Campbellford Lifestyle Shop in downtown Campbellford, Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions, found at drbuckcts.com, as well as a big thank you to our guest, Pat Warnecke. Thanks for coming on the program, man. This device sounds excellent, and I look forward to getting the verdict on your chartered challenge.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
it. As soon as they announce, you got to come back.
It won't be 4 years ago before we have you back on. It's going to be another few months.
Cool. I'd love to come back. So just let me know when.
All right. Super. All right. Sounds good. We'll talk to Kim. Thanks as always.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And thank you to our listeners for watching as well as listening. To you all. Good night.
Good night.
I blame it on industry.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.